there's not enough time in every day to reflect and write about all the stuff that goes on in life. And life is just, that's what I'm writing about. Writing about my experiences with family, with strangers, with friends. I'm writing about things I see out the window, on television, on the internet, reading the paper, things that I'm imagining, things that I imagine based on reality, or things that just pop into my head that are silly, or I'm writing about tragedies that I'm still trying to work out emotionally, right? So there's no end to that, right? I mean, we're all in this together, so we all know what it's like. Life is just crazy. It's just crazy. And so, but my way of dealing with it has always been to internalize and then to turn it into music. That's what I do. So I write all the time. You know, maybe an eighth of what I write winds up being heard by the public, maybe even less than that. Most of the stuff I write, it's just some sort of cathartic way of life for me to do that. And then, but I enjoy that process of playing the music on stage. I mean, this goes back to, again, about, you know, making that decision to not accept Deep Purple's offer, because I knew what it was like to stand on stage and play a song that it was almost difficult for you to keep it together emotionally on stage, because you're just so into it, because you're playing it, because you wrote it about something that was very important to you. And I suddenly had albums worth of this stuff and fans that wanted to see me do it. And when I was playing with Deep Purple, it was fun and it was rock and roll, but I had no emotional connection to these songs. And I noticed the difference in my playing, and I thought, this is fun to do for a while, but this is not who I am. I'm the guy that likes to be tortured emotionally on stage every night and to relive all those stories all over again. So I thought, okay, that's self-realization. That's part of who I am. So now this, in a way, but I love it. I got to say, I love it when I'm playing Flying the Blue Dream. I just think about those dreams that I used to have as a kid, about flying around my room and around my neighborhood and everything, and I just go back to it, and that's what makes me play it. So during that, you know, the playing of a song, part of me is on some sort of trip. I don't know how to explain it. I'm sure there's part of me that's being the professional musician, is keeping it together, making sure that I represent this melody the way the fans need it to be represented. All the other guys that work around me have all done all the work to make sure that the amps and the pedals and the sound and everything is the way it's supposed to be for me to do my best.
Wow.
But there's always going to be that certain percentage of unknowns going to happen. So you can't, I mean, there's no way to be a freak about every little detail, because that's not life. Life is chaos. Every second, every millisecond, you'll get feedback that you weren't counting on. So you know what I mean?
Do you incorporate those things?
Oh, you have to. That's all there is to it. You have to always be of the moment, because every moment's different. There's no fighting it. You got to go with it, you know. But it doesn't mean that you can't prepare. So, you know, you keep practicing to keep your chops up. You make sure you memorize the song, that you keep emotionally connected with the song so that you can represent it properly, so it's completely different from the next song that's about driving in your car, or the next song that's about this distant land that you visited once, or this next song that's about imagining aliens or whatever. So for me, I realized as I did those first tours that I'm going to have to work on making sure that each one of these songs is as different as a set of lyrics is for a singer. And so that means I do have to pay attention to an enormous amount of musical and detail and details about texture and sound and things like that. But it's all tempered with, I'm a performer. I know that every night I step in front of a stage, it's a whole new ballgame. And so you just have to, you know, you always have to roll with it.